What if the world's largest snake never went extinct and is still silently slithering through the shadows today? In this video, we dive into shocking clues that suggest the Titanoboa might still be alive. From eerie sightings in remote jungles to mysterious remains, here are 10 real pieces of evidence that hint this prehistoric giant could still be lurking somewhere on Earth. Number 10. Titanoboa in Russia. The search for Titanoboa has reached far beyond the tropical jungles where it once roamed. In 2014, a startling video surfaced showing an enormous snake crawling down the side of an apartment building in Samara, Russia. The video quickly went viral, capturing the attention of viewers who were convinced that the massive serpent was a surviving relic from prehistory. The snake, which appeared far larger than any native species of snake, fueled speculation that Titanoboa could still be alive, defying the odds of extinction. However, there were several issues with the footage that made experts skeptical. Samara, located over 1,000 miles northeast of the Caspian Sea, has a much colder climate than the tropical regions where Titanoboa thrived. Experts pointed out that such a large, cold-blooded reptile would not be able to survive in such a harsh environment. Moreover, the video raised questions about the practical reality of a massive snake being unnoticed in an urban setting. Residents of the apartment building seemed to have ignored the spectacle of an 18-meter snake moving past their windows. Upon further investigation, the truth came to light. Dmitry, the man who filmed the video, admitted that it was a hoax. A self-proclaimed expert in 3D rendering and digital effects, Dmitry had used sophisticated CGI techniques to create the illusion of a giant snake crawling up the side of the building. The use of forced perspective and digital manipulation was the key to making the snake appear much larger than it actually was. This revelation definitively debunked the video and cast doubt on the possibility of Titanoboa still existing in modern times. Even though the Samara video turned out to be a hoax, it speaks to the ongoing fascination with Titanoboa and other legendary creatures. People are drawn to the idea that something so enormous and powerful could still be out there, hiding in the most unlikely places. While the video was proven to be fabricated, it continues to fuel the belief that giant snakes could still exist in remote parts of the world, far beyond the reach of science. The prospect of encountering a creature as legendary as Titanoboa remains a tantalizing possibility for cryptozoologists and adventure seekers around the globe. Number 9. Colonel Van Leerd's giant snake encounter. The discovery of Titanoboa in 2009, a massive snake that roamed the Earth after the dinosaurs' extinction, shattered previous understandings of prehistoric reptiles. Prior to this, the idea of snakes exceeding 40 feet in length was considered pure fantasy. Yet, reports of similarly giant serpents have been circulating for decades, particularly in remote corners of the globe. One such story comes from 1959 when Colonel Remy Van Leerd was stationed in the Democratic Republic of Congo. While in the southeast near the Katanga region, he was on a reconnaissance mission aboard a helicopter. As the aircraft flew low over the jungle, Van Leerd spotted something out of the corner of his eye. He signaled to the pilot to circle back, and what they saw left them stunned. A massive snake emerging from the thick foliage. The snake slowly rose upright, revealing an enormous body that stretched beyond 50 feet. Its triangular head, nearly half a meter wide, dominated the scene. The serpent's dark green and brown scales blended into the jungle canopy, while its underbelly gleamed white. The sheer scale of the creature made it the largest snake ever documented, surpassing anything seen before. The colonel and his co-pilot watched in awe as the serpent lifted its head to an incredible height of at least 10 feet, appearing to warn them of aggression. Realizing the potential danger, Van Leerd ordered the pilot to retreat. Though he was startled by the sight, Colonel Van Leerd knew the importance of documenting this encounter. Using the helicopter's onboard camera, he managed to capture photos of the giant snake, providing evidence of its existence. As an experienced aviator, he was adept at estimating sizes from aerial views, and he believed the snake to be around 50 feet long, making it far larger than the biggest recorded snakes of modern times, such as the reticulated python. Given its massive size, Van Leerd's account could easily have been dismissed as exaggeration or mistake. However, his efforts to gather corroborating evidence from local tribes uncovered numerous other reports of a similar giant serpent. These accounts, deeply rooted in the region's folklore, suggested that the giant snake was not a one-time anomaly, but part of an ongoing mythological narrative. Number 8. The Enigma of Agapogo. Far from the Katanga River, another mysterious creature has captured the imaginations of those who venture into the depths of British Columbia's Okanagan Lake. The legend of Agapogo, often compared to Scotland's Loch Ness Monster, has persisted for over a century. This serpentine creature is said to inhabit the lake's 50-mile expanse, with countless eyewitness accounts of a large, unknown aquatic being skimming across the surface. Locals, including those from the First Nations communities, have long spoken of a water spirit called Nawik, which they believe is the guardian of the lake. The most recent sighting of Agapogo came in the form of a controversial photograph, reigniting debates about the creature's existence. This mysterious image, though grainy, adds fuel to the fire, with some claiming it offers undeniable proof of the creature's presence. The history of Agapogo is deeply intertwined with indigenous lore, where Nawik is not seen as a monster but as a spiritual force ensuring balance between land, water, and the animal kingdom. Carvings and petroglyphs from the Okanagan peoples depict this guardian spirit, reflecting its sacred role in maintaining harmony. However, when Europeans arrived, they reinterpreted the legend through their own cultural lens. The spiritual significance of Nawik was twisted into the story of a fearsome, flesh-eating lake monster, a shift that left behind a legacy of folklore and sensationalism. Paranormal enthusiasts continue to explore the lake, insisting that Agapogo is not just a myth but a living creature, one that refuses to be fully understood. In the absence of concrete evidence, the ongoing sightings suggest that the truth may lie not in a carnivorous relic, but in humanity's penchant for myth-making, turning sacred spiritual symbols into stories of monsters. Number 7. Titanoboa in the park. The idea of Titanoboa, a massive snake believed to have lived millions of years ago, has intrigued both scientists and cryptozoologists alike. In 2016, a video surfaced online claiming to show a giant snake in Big Cypress National Preserve in Florida. The footage, which was shot from a pedestrian bridge, shows a long serpentine shape moving through the water, raising questions about the existence of Titanoboa in unexpected locations. The creature seems much larger than any local alligators or Burmese pythons, which are common in the Everglades. Wildlife officers who reviewed the clip noted that the water displacement and the creature's length seemed abnormal even for large pythons. Some viewers pointed out the smooth, undulating motion as evidence that this was no ordinary reptile. Several digital forensics teams analyzed the video frame by frame, searching for signs of CGI tampering or digital artifacts, but found none conclusive enough to declare it fake. Others cited the poor quality and distance of the footage as grounds for skepticism but couldn't explain the shadow patterns or ripple effects trailing the serpent's path. When the video first appeared, experts in the Titanoboa field quickly dismissed it as a hoax. Park officials investigated the footage, attempting to measure the snake size based on the available visuals. After thorough examination, they concluded that the snake in question was likely a Burmese python, measuring around 16 feet in length, much smaller than the legendary Titanoboa. While this investigation may have reduced some excitement, it also highlights the ongoing fascination with giant snakes. The confusion between giant pythons and the mythical Titanoboa reflects a broader trend in the search for these enormous reptiles. Despite this clarification, the possibility that a snake of Titanoboa's scale could still exist in remote locations like jungles or deep swamps remains a tantalizing thought. One video in particular captured attention for its apparent authenticity. Shot by a fisherman in rural northwestern Brazil, it shows a giant snake partially submerged along the muddy riverbank of the Amazon. The video is shaky, but when zoomed in, the snake's length appears to exceed 40 meters, far surpassing the size of any known anacondas. Some critics argue that the video is likely a hoax, with exaggerations made about the snake's size. However, reptile experts note that the shape and size of the head, along with the snake's movements, appear to be consistent with those of a large serpent. While many still believe the video is an elaborate fabrication, for those on the hunt for giant undiscovered reptiles, it serves as a beacon of hope. Could Titanoboa or a similar giant serpent still be lurking somewhere in the Amazon? As long as the rainforests remain wild and unexplored, it's a question that continues to drive cryptozoologists to seek the elusive truth. Now it's time for today's topic. When a sudden sinkhole opened up on the outskirts of Chongqing, China, on April 24, 2024, no one expected what would be discovered beneath the surface. Construction crews, who had been working on a new residential foundation, were the first to spot what they believed was a collapsed sewer pipe. But as dust settled and the earth continued to crumble, the true nature of the find stunned everyone on site. Lying coiled in the exposed soil was an enormous serpentine form, over 60 feet in length, with scales hardened like fossilized armor. The creature bore anatomical similarities to known snake species, yet its size and age-defying preservation baffled both zoologists and paleontologists. Chinese state TV arrived within hours, broadcasting the scene live as hundreds of locals gathered around the site. Footage shows government officials quickly cordoning off the area and restricting further access. Experts from the Chinese Academy of Sciences were flown in and have not issued an official statement, but leaked documents suggest that the creature may be a relic species, possibly linked to the extinct Titanoboa or a previously undocumented giant constrictor. Many locals are convinced the creature wasn't dead, just dormant. Some even claim they heard faint, rhythmic hissing from beneath the soil before authorities sealed the pit. Number 6. The Legend of Naba from Borneo. The discovery of Titanoboa, a massive prehistoric serpent that thrived after the extinction of the dinosaurs, has sparked intrigue and a sense of awe about the possibility of such giants once again roaming the earth. In 2009, a team of researchers in Colombia uncovered fossils of this colossal creature, which could grow up to an astounding 42 feet in length and weigh over a ton. Unlike modern-day anacondas, Titanoboa was an apex predator, using its camouflage and stealth to remain hidden in its tropical habitat. While Titanoboa lived over 60 million years ago, its discovery has led some to speculate whether such snakes could still exist today. One intriguing piece of evidence comes from Borneo, where locals speak of a monstrous serpent known as Nabao. The stories describe a snake that stretches an unbelievable 100 feet and possesses 7 nostrils along with a dragon-like head. Although many dismiss this as mere myth, a controversial photograph has added weight to the legend. The image shows a massive snake-like figure in the water, with a nearby forest providing scale. Some argue it is merely a broken pipeline or digital manipulation, but witnesses insist the photo was taken by a rescue team helicopter flying over Borneo. Could Nabao be a modern-day version of Titanoboa? Local folklore suggests that Nabao is a harbinger of disaster, an omen signaling the apocalypse. If the photo is genuine, it might give some credence to these ominous warnings. Experts in herpetology calculate that for a snake of this size, it would need to be almost 2 meters in diameter to support its massive weight. The snake in the photo does seem to show an unusually large girth. While it could be an oversized anaconda or another species, the discovery of Titanoboa has opened the door to the possibility that even larger snakes could have survived in remote parts of the world. The dense, unexplored jungles of Borneo remain largely untouched by modern science, and it's not entirely out of the question that relic populations of giant snakes could still exist. Though the possibility of a giant serpent living in the jungle remains speculative, the evidence from Titanoboa's fossil record and the ongoing folklore make it an intriguing subject for cryptozoologists. The legends of massive snakes like Nabao are not just stories but could hold the key to understanding the survival of creatures from an ancient world. Could there still be a hidden population of Titanoboa? Or perhaps a close relative lying in wait somewhere in the deep jungles of Borneo? Number 5. The mysterious Wessie and its massive skin. In August of 2016, a strange discovery along the banks of the Presumpscot River in Maine shocked local authorities and cryptozoologists alike. Near a quiet suburb, a massive shed snake skin was found, measuring over 11 feet in length. This astonishing find prompted wildlife experts to secure the area for further examination. Upon closer inspection, the skin was confirmed to belong to an unusually large snake, which had been spotted multiple times by locals. The snake was given the nickname Wessie after the nearby town of Westbrook. Upon further analysis, enthusiasts noted distinctive features on the skin, leading them to speculate that Wessie could stretch as long as 18 feet, potentially making it the largest known snake in North America. The only native snake species that comes close to this size is the reticulated python, which reaches up to 20 feet in length. However, doubts quickly arose. Given the cold winters of Maine, it seemed highly unlikely that such a large snake could survive in the wild without human intervention. Some skeptics argued that Wessie could be an escaped exotic pet, though this theory didn't explain how the snake could thrive in the harsh conditions. Cryptozoologists raised further concerns when they noticed the skin showed no signs of natural decay or fresh molting, which would typically occur in a recently shed skin. Additionally, the skin's location near a populated area raised suspicion that it might have been planted as a hoax. Despite this, some enthusiasts remained hopeful, suggesting that Wessie could be a surviving specimen of an undiscovered snake species, one that has avoided scientific documentation until now. Reports of a snake matching Wessie's description had circulated in the area for decades, dating back to the 1970s. This long-standing history of sightings made the discovery of the shed skin more compelling, especially given that it seemed to confirm the existence of the creature. An independent researcher investigating the skin traced its origin back to Colombia, the former home of Titanoboa, which had been unearthed in 2009. Could Wessie be a descendant of this prehistoric serpent, somehow surviving unnoticed in North America? This question draws parallels with ancient Native American legends of a giant snake called the thunder snake. These stories, passed down for generations, describe a serpent of immense size that could shake the very earth it slithered upon. While the truth behind Wessie remains elusive, it raises important questions about the survival of prehistoric creatures in remote parts of the world, hidden in plain sight for centuries. Number 4. The Giant Snake Rock of Thailand. In the Phu Lanka Wildlife Reserve in Thailand, a fascinating geological formation has sparked debate and intrigue for centuries. Known as the Giant Snake Rock, this formation appears to resemble a massive snake frozen mid-slither across the rocky landscape. The site consists of jagged limestone plateaus that descend into crumbling depressions, creating a visual effect that irresistibly reminds visitors of a petrified serpent. Though no scientific evidence supports the idea that this rock formation is a fossilized snake, the site continues to capture the imagination of many. Local legends suggest that the rock's serpentine shape is more than a natural formation. According to the stories passed down through generations, a massive snake once emerged from the surrounding wilderness during a violent volcanic eruption. As the lava flowed through the area, it is said to have entombed the serpent, fossilizing it forever in the landscape. This tale, though steeped in myth, is fueled by the geological characteristics of the site. The rock formation beneath the snake-like silhouette is made up of igneous granite and ash, products of explosive volcanic eruptions that occurred millennia ago. Geologists, however, offer a more grounded explanation for the formation. They suggest that the unique shape of the rock is a result of centuries of temperature fluctuations that caused the sandstone to expand and contract unevenly. These shifts, combined with ongoing erosion from seasonal monsoons, gradually carved out the striking texture that resembles the scales of a snake. While this explanation satisfies most scientists, it does little to quell the fascination surrounding the site. The giant snake rock continues to draw visitors who are eager to witness the intersection of natural forces and human imagination, where myth and reality seem to blur. Although there is no evidence that a giant snake once lived in this area, the rock's captivating appearance continues to fuel the belief that it might be more than just a geological wonder. It serves as a reminder of how myths and legends shape our understanding of the world, and how sometimes the line between the known and the unknown can seem far less distinct than we imagine. The giant snake rock remains a powerful symbol of the human tendency to seek stories in the landscape and to find connections to the past in the natural world. Whether myth or reality, it reminds us of the mysteries that still exist in our world, waiting to be uncovered. Number 3. The fish-eating serpent of Uturakand. The tropical climate of India, especially along its northern border, bears a striking resemblance to the humid environments where ancient creatures like Titanoboa once thrived. In these lush jungles, snakes are a common sight, with over 500 species slithering through the dense vegetation, from the venomous king cobra to the tiny Brahmani blind snake. However, recently something more mysterious has been happening in the region. In a small village near the Ganga River, locals have noticed a troubling decline in their once abundant fish supply. The river, which once provided ample fish for the village's daily needs, has seen its catches dwindle to almost nothing. Fishermen used to haul in over 100 kilograms of fish per day, but now their nets return empty. In just a few seasons, aquatic life has dropped by 94%. Despite efforts to build dams and monitor fish populations, the situation has not improved. This drastic change in the ecosystem has sparked rumors among the local tribes, particularly the elders, who point to the ancient serpent deity Naga. Naga, a colossal figure in Hindu and Buddhist mythology, is said to consume entire schools of fish in a single feast. Legends describe Naga as a serpent over 50 feet long, whose hunger must be appeased through ritual offerings. As fish stocks vanish and the river's wildlife continues to disappear, the villagers worry that the serpent has reawakened from its slumber beneath the earth's surface. Some even believe that Naga's return could explain the strange behavior in the river. Is it possible that a massive predator like Titanoboa has survived in the region, hidden away for centuries? Its cold-blooded nature would make it well-suited to the subtropical climate. As temperatures drop and rise seasonally, could these ancient serpents re-emerge from their hibernation to strike again? Whether these rumors are rooted in myth or an undiscovered species, they call attention to the ongoing mystery of the region. For centuries, stories of giant snakes have echoed through cultures around the world. From the ancient Sumerian Meshusu to the massive serpents of Chinese and Persian folklore, these legends often point to creatures of unimaginable size and strength. Even Norse mythology tells of Jormungandr, a serpent so large it could encircle the world. Could these stories be memories of a time when creatures like Titanoboa truly walked the earth? The ongoing sightings and folklore surrounding large serpents suggest that ancient memories of these creatures might still linger in the cultural consciousness of many. Number 2. The Kataba River Monster. In the heart of North Carolina, the Kataba River has long been home to stories of a river monster that strikes fear into those who dare to venture too close. The river stretches over 220 miles, beginning in the Appalachian foothills and winding through the bustling city of Charlotte before emptying into a large reservoir. But before modern infrastructure tamed the river's wild rapids, local legends told of a mysterious and dangerous creature that lurked beneath the surface, pulling unwary travelers to their doom. Generations of settlers, loggers, and ferrymen spoke in hushed tones of glowing eyes beneath moonlit waters and strange whirlpools that formed without warning. In 1827, a ferry operator reported seeing an enormous tail slap the surface near his boat, nearly capsizing it. Children were told to stay away from certain bends in the river where the water ran dark and still, even during summer droughts. In the early 1900s, a mill town experienced a wave of disappearances, and some townsfolk swore the river was cursed. Divers sent to repair old dam foundations occasionally refused to go back under, claiming they'd seen something massive brush against them. One even emerged visibly shaken, refusing to speak for days. Local lore tells of a hunter in the 1930s who shot at a dark figure sliding through the reeds, only to find his bullets sank into the water without a trace. In 1954, a group of Boy Scouts camping near the river claimed they were awoken by loud splashes and eerie hissing from the riverbank. Their scoutmaster dismissed it until he found long, deep gouges in the tree trunks near their tents the next morning. Cryptozoologists have since speculated that the river's deep, muddy pockets may hide an undiscovered aquatic species or a relic from the prehistoric past. Sonar scans conducted in the early 2000s picked up large moving objects in isolated portions of the river, but nothing conclusive ever surfaced. Wildlife officials attribute many of the sightings to oversized catfish or misidentified logs, though locals remain unconvinced. The Kataba River has been the subject of local folklore for centuries, especially among the indigenous Kataba people. Ancient petroglyphs etched into riverside rocks depict massive serpents, hinting at more than just myth. The stories passed down through generations speak of fishermen and explorers who mysteriously vanished along the riverbanks, their disappearances attributed to this elusive creature. In the 17th century, German explorer John Lederer recorded accounts from local tribes of a venomous, silver-scaled serpent, much larger than a tree, haunting the river's upper reaches. While these tales were often dismissed by European settlers as mere superstition, they nevertheless persisted, shaping the culture around the Kataba River. By the 19th century, written accounts of the creature had dwindled, but sightings and whispers of its existence never fully disappeared. In modern times, social media has sparked a renewed interest in the legend, with grainy footage surfacing showing something massive rippling beneath the water's surface, disappearing into the deep. Could this be a distant memory of a prehistoric predator like Titanoboa, once a dominant force in the region, now living only in the shadows of myth? Number 1. The Myth of Yakamama. The Amazon rainforest, often considered the most biodiverse place on Earth, is a land full of mystery and legend. Indigenous peoples from the region have long spoken of enormous serpents living within its dense, nearly inaccessible jungles. These legendary creatures, known as Yakamama and black boa, are said to reach lengths of up to 100 feet. Local folklore describes them as powerful enough to bring down entire trees with their sheer size and strength. These stories have been passed down for centuries, long before Western science ever considered such massive snakes possible. According to some tribal elders, the Yakamama is said to guard the headwaters of the Amazon River and only reveals itself when threatened. Hunters have described moments when the jungle fell eerily silent, followed by low, guttural hissing echoing through the trees. In 2009, a group of Brazilian loggers reportedly abandoned their equipment after claiming to witness a massive black snake cross their path and leave behind crushed undergrowth wider than a truck. Satellite imagery has occasionally revealed odd, serpentine clearings winding through forested regions, unexplained by natural topography. Some believe these might be trails carved by massive reptiles over generations. In one remote village, elders keep ceremonial masks resembling the great serpent, insisting their ancestors once saw the creature coil itself around an entire hill. Warner has recorded heat signatures on drone-mounted FLIR cameras that suggest large, cold-blooded bodies moving just beneath the canopy. A biologist working alongside him once retrieved a fragment of shed skin nearly 40 feet long, which has since baffled herpetologists. Eyewitnesses from deep jungle oil camps described watching an enormous tail disappear into a river, creating a whirlpool that capsized a support boat. A group of missionaries traveling in northern Brazil in the 1970s documented unusual bite marks on a large caiman that matched no known predator in the region. In 2015, a hidden GoPro placed near a baited riverbank was crushed beyond recognition, but not before capturing 3 blurry frames of a cylindrical, scaly body moving past it. Even military reconnaissance teams reportedly have restricted access files, referring to unexplained megafauna sightings in jungle operations. Local shamans believe these snakes are spirits of the forest, awakened when their domain is violated. In recent years, cryptozoologists have paid closer attention to these reports, finding that many of the descriptions remain consistent. Villagers from remote Amazonian settlements, as well as scientists working in isolated research outposts, have all given similar accounts of gigantic, dark-colored snakes living along riverbanks and swamps. While skeptics may dismiss these accounts as exaggerations or imagination, the recurring details have sparked interest from researchers who believe that creatures far larger than anything we have currently documented could still exist in the Amazon. The discovery of megafauna like the mountain gorilla, Komodo dragon, and giant panda shows that even well-known species can evade detection for centuries. American cryptozoologist Mike Warner has been investigating these claims for years, traveling from Peru to Guyana to gather testimony from locals. Many describe massive snakes that have overtaken riverboats and emit terrifying hissing sounds. Warner's expeditions have found evidence such as shed skins, furrows in the earth, and traces of nesting sites, all hinting at the presence of creatures far beyond the size of normal snakes. Despite these clues, capturing definitive proof of such a creature is incredibly difficult. The dense, predator-filled jungle and the threat of hostile tribes make direct observation challenging. Yet, the possibility remains. Could these giant serpents, much like Titanoboa, still exist in this remote corner of the world, hidden from modern science? Which of these incidents shocked you the most? Do you think Titanoboa might still be out there somewhere? Share your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next video.